In this video, I'll show you how to replace the automatic transmission fluid in a Honda Ridgeline pickup truck. I noticed with mine that it started having a little bit of shuddering in the speed and a little bit of pulsation, barely perceptible, but definitely there. And this will take care of that problem for you. As the automatic transmission fluid degrades over time and use in these trucks, you can start to get what Honda calls judder or shudder in the system. I'll show you a video right here of how my tach kind of bounces about 100 RPM. What you're seeing in that video is the RPM fluctuating while the torque converter between the engine and the transmission is trying to match, but the degraded fluid is not letting it. You need to replace the fluid pretty frequently in these trucks compared to most vehicles I've ever owned. Honda recommends, I think it's like 15,000 miles after first purchase, but then, or first break-in, and then it's every like 30,000 miles after that, or even less if you're towing and hauling a lot with it. I got about 45,000 miles on what was in this, what's in my transmission now, before I started noticing this issue, so I'm going to go ahead and replace it. What they recommend is doing a drain and fill. So you would be just draining what's in the, what comes out right away from the transmission. That won't get all of the fluid. You can do a flush, which is refill it, drive the truck around a little bit. That'll mix it up with everything else that's in the system. Drain again, refill. You can do that a couple times if you want to really turn it over. Depending how much comes out when I drain this, I may do that once. What it says in the manual is about 3 quarts for a drain and fill. But what I've read online and seen from a lot of people is that it takes about 5 quarts generally to refill with a drain and fill. So make sure you have some extra on hand, or at least another vehicle where you can go pick some up if you aren't able to refill it all the way. While I'm at it, I'm going to replace the filter for the transmission fluid. Honda doesn't necessarily recommend that you do this. They don't require that you do it. A lot of dealers, if you ask them to do this, will say there is no filter, but there is. Get the genuine Honda part. I'll put links in the description to this filter, the fluid you need. So just check the description of the video for links to all this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and replace this too while I'm at it. It doesn't really take that much more time. And it seems like it's probably worth it at this point, knowing that my fluid's degraded. While you're doing this, you probably want to also replace your transfer case fluid and your rear differential fluid. Recommend you do that as well at the same time. Those are going to be wearing just like all the other fluids in your vehicle. So check out my other videos. There's links up at the top of this video where you can click and see how to replace those fluids as well. While you got the vehicle jacked up, it's a great time to do it. I'm going to start by jacking up my vehicle. I'm going to use jack stands all around so I have the vehicle level. That way when you're draining and filling, you make sure you're getting the right amount of fluid in here. You don't want excess fluid because that can cause things to overheat, having too much fluid in there. And you don't want to underfill with the lubricant because that'll cause friction and wear and premature failure. So make sure when you're filling this, you have it level so you can get those fluid levels just right. When I'm jacking up my Ridgeline, there's 2 places I like to jack from and then put jack stands in on the side. On the front, there's a subframe in front of the engine, and I'll use my jack to pick up there. And then I'll pick up on the back at the trailer hitch and lift the back with that and get jack stands underneath and all 4 lift points that are on the side. Those lift points are marked with a little arrow on the trim panel at the bottom, so you'll be able to see them. I'm going to jack up the front end. I put a scrap of wood on here just so I don't have metal to metal contact and I'm scraping the paint off. Next we need to remove this cover. to get access to the transmission that's right above here. You're going to need a 10mm socket, a Phillips screwdriver. You also need a flathead screwdriver to remove everything. The 10mm sockets are pretty obvious how to remove those. There's also a couple places where there's Phillips, and there's two places where there's clips like this installed, right towards the middle on either side of where I lifted the truck. To remove these, you're going to take a small flat-bladed screwdriver, pop it in here, and kind of pry up. And that'll let this whole assembly come out, and let you put it back in, because this will compress. And when you're done to reinstall these, you're just going to push this back in once you've already got it up in place, and that'll lock it in place. There's actually two different types of these tabs under here. Some have a slot in the side. You'll need to take out two of those. And two of them don't have a slot in the side. They're just a circle that fits in here. Same process, prying it out with a screwdriver. But there's not a special spot to put it in. But there's no special spot to put in. You can work in from any angle. Got my oil drain pan positioned underneath the drain hole. Sorry, underneath the drain hole right here. That takes a 3/8 drive ratchet extension. If this is too tight, you can break it loose with a breaker bar like this to get some extra leverage. This is what the new fluid looks like. It's a clear red. I just put a little in here so you can see. I'm going to catch some so we can see what it looks like coming out. See, this is really dark and black. So good thing we're changing it. I'll let this all run out, and then I'll put the plug back in. The drain plug has a magnetic insert in it to catch any metal filings. So I'm going to just wipe it off in a rag and see if there's anything big in there. There's also a aluminum crush gasket on here. These are 20mm. I'll put a link in the description of the video where you can get these online. You want to replace these every time, don't reuse them. Also, you want to make sure not to over torque these going back in. Basically, all these drain plugs on the bottom of your vehicle, whether it's engine oil, transmission, differential, or the transfer case, all go to about around 35 foot-pounds of torque. So make sure you use a torque wrench when reinstalling and don't overdo it. You'll deform this metal gasket and it won't come back off very easily. You can also strip out the hole in your transmission or anything else that's aluminum, and that could be a very costly repair. The rag definitely had some sludge stuck to it, but nothing terrible. No big metal shavings or flakes. To remove this crush gasket, you might need to spin it a little bit to get it off. I'm going to go ahead and put the new one on and have it installed, ready to go. This is the bar that I use to jack up the truck from the subframe in the front. Up above it is where the transmission filter is. It's right here. It's in a clamp. It's pretty hard to get in here and see it yourself, but let's see if I can orient it correctly here. That's it there. And on one side there's a 10mm bolt that holds this bracket in place that holds the filter. So there's a 10mm bolt on one side that clamps this. This is like a clamshell that'll open up. The screw's right over there on the other side. So I'm not really going to be able to show you what I'm doing while I'm doing it, because I can't even see it myself unless I stick the camera up into the truck. But I'll be taking it off and then using pliers to unclamp these clamps, swap it out into the hose with the hoses, and put it back in place. to get the filter out, I ended up actually disconnecting this end that was accessible first. It's accessible right in front of that frame cross rail. And then I couldn't actually get to this clamp on the back with it installed, but this is where it installs into the transmission. So I removed it there because there was good access there. The way you work with this is take a pair of pliers, just squeeze these clamps, slide them down so they're off of the ferrule, and then twist and pull. I'm going to put the other filter back in the same orientation, paying attention to make sure I get it all lined up the same way. Slide that on. Move this clamp back into place. And then I'll go reinstall this assembly back in the truck, the same place I took it out. I'm gonna go ahead and put the filter in now. I think I've pretty well drained, not just the transmission, but also the cooler. So I think it's gonna take more than 3 quarts. I've got 8 quarts here, but if it takes a full 5 quarts to fill it up, I don't wanna do a drain and flush. So I think I've got most of it out. I'm gonna go ahead and replace this. That's what Honda recommends you do anyways. It's just the drain and fill, not the full flush. I think I'm going to get better turnover than their recommended procedure. So I'm going to put that back in. Again, I apologize you won't be able to see all this. Feel free to ask me questions if you have them in the comments. Something else I want to show you while I can is this is the half of the clamp that holds the filter in place. The filter goes through one of those slots there. This side hooks on to the other half of the clamp that's bolted into the frame up above. And then this screw goes through here and it screws into the other side to clamp the filter in place. So once you get the filter in, make sure you put this clamp back on. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the drain plug. Took off the old crush washer, putting on a fresh one, and insert this hand tight. Then I've got a torque wrench set to 35 foot-pounds that I'll use to tighten everything back up. Now it's time to fill things up. The transmission dipstick is down pretty low. It's down on the transmission. It's that circular handle down there. One thing to note is, I'll try and get to focus a little better. There's a little notch on the dipstick tube and on the cap of the dipstick. You want to make sure you get that oriented the whole right, and so that way the dipstick's in all the way. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. And you can see here there's 2 holes on the dipstick down at the bottom. We want the fluid level in between those 2 holes. So I'm going to start filling it up through that same hole using a funnel with a long spout. I'm going to put about 3 quarts in and then start checking it. All right, I've put 4 quarts in. I'm going to go ahead and pull the dipstick back out. So it's telling me it's still a little low, but it's on onto the stick. Again, you'll notice it says to check this when it's hot. So I'm gonna get it close, and then drive the truck a little bit and check it again once I've got everything warmed up. If you end up too full, you can use a tool like this, which is basically just a great big syringe. You can stick the tube in and suck out some of the liquid. I'll use that if it ends up being too full. But first I'm gonna just get in the truck, turn it on, put it in drive for a few seconds. It's up on jack stands, so I'm not putting any load on it. That'll let it pump around the transmission fluid, make sure it gets the cooler filled and everything, and then I check the level again. I've run the truck, put it in gear at idle, let it spin the transmission, shut it off, waited about a minute. And I've already pulled this out and checked it a couple times, but it's a little low. It's not quite, or it's just kind of covering the bottom dot there. I'm gonna put a little more in. I went and drove this for about 10 minutes. The judder's all gone. I got it up to full temperature. Now I'm gonna go ahead and check the transmission fluid. It's kind of hard to see, but it's full right below the full mark when hot, so good to go. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to my channel. You can ask your questions in the comments field below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. And be sure to check out my other videos on things you can do with your Ridgeline.